Jason, David, Fern, what have the nation been talking about?
Go on, Dave.
They've been talking about a footballer called either Terry John or John Terry.
No one is quite sure.
No. And what he's done is he's had sex with a lady.
It's like most of these sort of stories. I read them and I think, I've got my own problems. Do you know what I mean? I read it, I thought to myself, like the radiator in our bathroom won't turn off, so it's dead on. It's really hot all the time.
It does seem bizarre how big it... I mean, it's just been absolutely...
Both.
Everywhere, yeah.
Both.
And he tried to get a gagging order, didn't he? But she said she wasn't into the kinky stuff. Fern, you're a married woman. What do you think of John Terry's antics?
Well, I think that she knew that that's what he does.
Do you think he's a role model? That's the thing. That's what they keep going, don't they? They keep going, he's not a role model. And I think, hold on, he's on 170 grand a week and he shagged a French underwear model. He's a role model.
I mean, it's just, he's done a terrible thing and it was my husband, I'd kill him and all of that stuff. But it is the World Cup year and I think we're all hoping... After the World Cup...
Hang on. If you listen carefully, you can hear Emmeline Pankhurst turning in her grave.
I feel sorry for that girl, although she did allegedly sleep with a number of the Chelsea... Like, how many footballers do you have to have sex with before you become an official mascot? Let's see.
In my case, it was 6.
Well, they're kicking off anecdote about him, like, losing the England captaincy. And, but you're like, well, who are you going to give it to? Who else is it? You're going to give it to Steven Gerrard? Steven Gerrard, he punched the DJ the other week. Then you've got Wayne Rooney. He likes to have a little play with grannies every so often, you know.
He didn't know they were grannies, did he? To be fair, in Liverpool, a granny's about 38.
The only reason I think we should question whether he should play for England at all is that he has had sex with so many women, and apparently, something I read, he had sex with somebody on crutches in a toilet.
Yeah.
If he'll have sex with anyone, and what I'm concerned about, in terms of his football career, is he'll be running down towards goal, and maybe the wind will blow, and a linesman will show a little bit too much leg, and Terry will be on him like a tiger, pumping him full of his evil seed.
But also, if you want to have sex with someone in a toilet, it's much more room to have sex with someone in a disabled toilet. So someone with crutches gets the front of the queue.
Yeah. Think on, Terry.
They're all right, them disabled toilets. You've got all them handles and that, so you can do, you know, and then, you know, a little CD player and some candles and that. It's quite romantic.
Candles?
Yeah, candles.
I've never been in one with candles.
No, you've got to bring your own candles, you weirdo.
Sean, you're a Chelsea fan. What... Yeah. Does it annoy you?
I can't really comment on it because, as they say, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, you know? What? I mean, the reason I have... I mean, it's not quite the same as John Terry, but I was round a friend of mine's house and he had to go to pick something up from the post office, you know, like you do with those cards, and while he was out, I had a bite of his toast.
What you don't know is that 4 other people on this panel also had a bite of that toast, so...
I had my bite in a disabled toilet.
To be honest, if he comes back from South Africa with the World Cup, I think he can sleep with most of our missuses, you know what I mean? I don't think anyone will have any problem.
I think if he comes back from South Africa with the World Cup, he'll have nicked it.
Let's have a look and see whether John Terry is one of the most talked about things this week. Of course he is, of course. Yes, the tabloids have reported that John Terry cheated on his wife with a teammate's girlfriend. Vanessa Peroncel fell for Terry when she first saw his tackle, and she loved it when he got it in the box. She was amazed by his ball control, especially when she saw him dribble around the goal mouth. And then shoot and score. She was incredibly impressed that he could shoot not once, not twice, but 3 times in 90 minutes. And she loved it when they changed ends at half-time. But what really impressed her was when he'd finished playing football, he took her home and f***ed her. Sean, Holly, Greg, what do you like the look of?
The alien thing.
You want the Holly? Yes, Holly's chosen the alien.
OK.
Please.
You've gone for the picture of the alien. Here is a clip of Patrick Moore talking to a man who can genuinely speak alien.
Mr. Bernard Byron from Essex moves in a realm of the unknown which makes it very difficult for us to disprove him. And yet he has the charm, the cheerfulness and the courage which is common to all independent thinkers. How many languages can you speak?
I can speak altogether 3 of the space languages. One is Venusian, the second is Kruger, the planet Kruger 60b, and Pluto.
How did you learn these languages?
These languages have been a gift sent from me from the actual people by rays.
What about Plutonian? What does that sound like?
Plutonian is what does that
mean, actually?
That means, how are all you? I am very pleased to see you this afternoon.
What I like about that is it makes up that aliens have a concept of our hours, like they have before and afternoons.
I used to be able to speak alien, but I've got my bottom teeth grew back. OK, here is your related question. Do the majority of our studio audience believe in extraterrestrials?
What's your definition of an extraterrestrial?
Well, terrestrial is like BBC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extraterrestrials like Men and Motors, UK Living. Have I misunderstood this question?
Aliens, basically aliens.
What I don't understand about aliens is they travel millions of light years. They never come and meet the president or anything, do they? It's like, oh no, I'm going to hang out with some rednecks and have sex with them in the night.
Maybe they're more like you than you think.
Looking at this picture, why don't you get fat aliens? I mean, they can eat anything they want, can't they? They're aliens.
Jabba the Hutt, he was fat.
Yeah.
He wasn't an alien.
He was?
He wasn't.
What was he?
He wasn't real.
So you mean real aliens?
Real ones, like this one.
Real ones. It is fun when people do spot aliens, though. Like what I like about there was something a while back in Dudley, where apparently Dudley is like a hotspot in this country for UFO activity. Right? Somebody rang up to say they'd seen a UFO, and they went, "What's it like?" And they went, "It looks like a Dorito." And they when describing shapes, who gets to Dorito before triangle?
Do the majority of our studio audience believe in extraterrestrials? Yes or no, Sean?
I don't think they do. I think they're quite a rational bunch.
OK, what do you think? What are you going to go with? Yes or no?
Oh.
I think they do.
I think they do.
There's a lot of space out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go true then.
OK, I can tell you the answer is yes. 54% of our audience said they believe in extraterrestrials. Robbie Williams, Uri Geller, Krista Berg, Gloria Honeyford, David Icke, Danny Dyer, Howard from the Halifax ads. They all believe in aliens. Can they all be wrong? We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what things they find the most irritating, annoying and offensive. It's our panellists' job to guess the top 5. Jason, your team to go first. So Jason, Lauren, David, what do people find irritating, annoying and offensive?
Can I just say good luck, Jimmy, and have a great show, yeah?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Have a really great show, yeah?
Yeah, you too. That is quite an offensive and irritating thing, isn't it?
Is it the fact that people are so obsessed by celebrities?
Yeah. There's people in the papers all the time for shagging and that.
I know.
I mean, like Jordan has been the big one recently because she's remarried in Vegas. I mean, personally, I think it's clearly a love match that's going to work out. You know,
yeah,
she's a best-selling author, a writer. I wish her all the best.
Yeah.
Well, but does she write... You know, and she's written all these books. A lot of celebrity autobiographies are no holds bars. Hers are no holes barred.
I thought you were talking about me. Because I've written books. And I've had sex with celebrities, so...
Who have you had sex with?
All of them.
You've had sex with all of them?
Yes.
Oh.
Several times. You're next.
Who have you had sex with?
OK, you haven't read my books?
I've read your books,
Of course
Janice.
not.
Oh. OK, name names.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Sly Stallone.
Yes.
They're the 2 biggies in the book.
They weren't that biggie.
Let's just forget the show. Let's just talk about this.
Who else was on the list? Mick
Jack
Jagger?
Nicholson. But I dated these
Jack
men...
Nicholson?
Yes.
Well done.
Have you really shagged Jack Nicholson?
Yes.
What was he like?
The Joker was wild.
Nice.
The Joker was what? She's even got a line on it.
Janice just asked me, she said, do I sound like a slag? And I went, No.
But hang on. We were talking about Janice's autobiography, and to be fair, that is a different kettle of fish from, Chantel off Big Brother's autobiography.
Well, a lot of them, it almost reads like when you remember at school and you have to write about your weekend. You have to they go, what did you do?
Your news book.
This is what I did on my holidays. I went out and played with friends. I did some skipping. I had some chocolate. I went out again and played with friends. We went to see Grandma. Then I married Wayne Rooney.
Sean, are you a fan of celebrity culture?
Yeah.
He loves it.
I can't wait till that copy of Heat hits the doormat. When does it come out? Every day? Tuesday.
Near enough, Sean, near enough.
It's weird. I do think what's weird about magazines like Heat is it's gossip. It's a gossip magazine. I was brought up to believe that gossip wasn't like a good thing. It was like on a moral par with like shoplifting or smearing shit on toilet doors, It wasn't something you went on about.
I find those magazines quite hypnotising. Do you not think when you walk in, they're always in that order, aren't they? Like, hello, look closer, OK, now.
I hate the whole thing, celebrity culture, the whole Heat thing. If I wanted racism, ignorance and people f***ing off a pig, I'd have stayed at home with my parents.
Let's have a look and see whether our obsession with celebrities has annoyed the public. Yes, the thing that offends us most is celebrity culture. These days, people want the rewards of being a celebrity without the long, hard slog of having to go out with David Walliams. A lot of people think that, the kind of people that go on reality TV wouldn't be able to survive in the real world. Here's Big Brother's Nikki Graham working as a fisherman.
Hey, Nikki! Nikki has no idea what jobs are about to hit her in the next 48 hours.
I'd quite like to work in a school, fashion industry, for a skincare company, but only for an hour or two, that's the problem.
Is this actually fishing? Are we doing it now? Am I fishing now? In the net? Stop the boat. I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
After an hour of trawling, the nets are raised, but Nikki still hasn't lifted a finger.
Crawling around on the boat.
Right. We're going over there.
You've been saying that ever since I got on the boat.
That was, of course, Nikki Graham from Big Brother there being a trawlerman.
It made me enjoy fish more. And that's the amount of pain she goes through for every fish I eat. She'd be better as bait, wouldn't she? Put her on a hook and chuck her overboard.
Right, what else do people find irritating, annoying and offensive? Sean?
Is it personal hygiene, Jimmy? Do people not like smelly people?
Yeah, especially in London, on the tube, bad breath, smelly armpits, all that stuff, that's going to be in there. People, yeah.
Sometimes it's nice because people have a manly smell.
Yeah. Funky.
Funky?
I don't like funky odours, but, some guys that, have funk.
A lot of celebrities bring out perfumes, don't they? The only one who hasn't brought out a perfume is Amy Winehouse. And if she did, I think it would be called something like Landfill.
I think it might be called Amy Winehouse Pull My Finger.
Yeah.
You can imagine the bottle, though, would be just a little glass shaped of a crack pipe.
This is almost like a product development meeting now. Let's move on.
Sometimes with the... like, when you go to wash your hands after you've had a wee and that's quite a... People get very annoyed about that. And I do wash my hands. Sometimes I pretend to wash them and then come out and my wife's like, looks at me like I've washed them, so I have to do a little pretend dry of my hands. I'm drying nothing, but I like to pretend for her sake.
Have you heard that thing that in a bowl of peanuts on the bar there's like 11 or 20 or 30 different...
27.
What? 27 different types of urine?
You know that's why they're called peanuts.
See, I didn't...
You gotta let it go when that happens.
I didn't even know there were 27 different... I can only think of clear and cloudy, and I was stuck.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Let's have a look and see whether personal hygiene is something that annoys you British people. Yes, 47% of us find bad personal hygiene offensive. My girlfriend's actually got a cleanliness problem downstairs. Kitchen's a f***ing state. Jamelia, Charlie, what have the nation been talking about?
It's got to be snow, hasn't it?
It's absolutely got to be.
And what's funny is it's become a national story now. It's hit London. But we've had it for ages in the northwest. We've had it since about 1984.
Luckily, you don't go on about it.
You're enjoying it right now. You're at a stage where you're like, oh, look at it, it's all white, and we can build snowmen, and don't our gardens look like everyone else? Hell is coming, London. Hell is coming.
I was walking along the road just after it snowed, and everyone was moaning about lack of grit. I saw someone had taken it into their own hands, and what they'd done was they put loads of flour on the drive, and then when they run out of flour, they put loads of oats, and then they put loads of sugar. And I was really expecting to see, just next to that, a baker frozen to death. Just...
I've got my own salt. I use these little sachets of salt. What I do is I sprinkle a bit like that. Right, then I get another one out.
I get really pissed off. I get really pissed off by the whole, like, panic buying stuff that everyone talks about, like, panic buying, because there's a food shortage, people go out and they panic buy bread, eggs and milk. Like, to me, that doesn't seem like panic buying in a food shortage. That's quite intelligent buying. Panic buying would be if you went out to the shops during a food shortage and came back with, like, a copy of 40 Towers and a dildo.
I panicked! I've still yet to see snow. I've got no heating in my house, though.
No heating in your house?
No heating in my house.
You can't work the buttons, can you?
I basically...
You just press everything.
You know there's
Lights coming on.
How do you know that?
Shutters in the garage go...
Have you been out and done a snowman? Have you done a snowman, Sean?
I haven't done a snowman, no.
What are you suggesting?
You won't touch a snowman.
What do I do a snowman for? What sort of dirty Even if I wanted to, I don't think I could.
I did see the two guys that drove on the canal this week. You see that?
Great, wasn't it?
You know, the best thing about the story, so it was guys, they got their car, whatever it was, a little tiny Citroen, they drove it along a canal and it went into the water and it reported that they both made it out alive and so did the dog. They took a dog.
Maybe the dog was driving. That's why they're on the canal. You know, sometimes you go to your dog, go on, you have a go. Sellotape his paws to the wheel. I'll do the gears, don't worry about the pedals. That's what happened.
You've got kids, Jamelia. Were they off school?
My kids don't go to school.
Your kids don't go to school? No, it's for the best.
I homeschool them.
Sorry. Good.
Do you homeschool?
Sorry, not really.
I homeschool them.
Well, good luck, Jamelia's kids. So all the best with that.
What do you mean?
You homeschool them?
What do you wear? You know what? No, I know.
What do you wear? Yeah, that was my first thought. What do you wear, Jamelia? A saucy school teacher's outfit?
I know how I come across on these panel shows, right? But I am actually intelligent. I would not. No, you know, I wouldn't do something like that. You know.
Are they not sick of you though? Like after spending all day with you and then they get home. Well, they're at home.
Number one, we don't spend all day
Okay.
doing schooling because, like, children don't need the whole time, and we don't stay in the house either. Like, you know, sometimes we go to Tesco's.
Oh, where are we going tomorrow on our field trip? My mummy's getting a bikini waxed. Good luck, kids. Yes, this is the news that the UK is still in the midst of the coldest winter for 30 years. A headmaster in Hampshire claims some pupils are struggling to make it into school because of the bad weather. He said of the 320 sitting maths A-level, 280 were in the exam hall when the exam started. Another 30 turned up 20 minutes later. 4 people went to the toilet, but only 3 returned. Then 42 left the building. How many were there at the end of the exam? Many people in the north have been bulk buying food because they're fat, greedy
What's that about? about? Well, just because people are buying milk and bread, we like milky bread. What's wrong?
Milky bread, you're both buying in Greggs.
We love it. Greggs is still open. They don't care if it's snowing. It's great. You can just slide straight in and put a pasty straight in your mouth.
Most common social faux pas.
Is it saying goodbye to somebody and then walking in the same direction for a bit? I'll see you later, all right?
I know a real bad one from my point of view, because I'm lucky enough to fly in a jet. My little daughter, Isabella, she's 3. She's never flown on a commercial plane before, and we went to Barbados. And then walking on the plane, we're getting taken to our seats. And she turns around and says in the loudest possible voice, "Daddy, what are all these people doing on our plane?"
Did you just put some money in her mouth?
My daughter's never been on a commercial plane. Imagine people watching Channel 4 on a Friday night are thinking, oh, finally someone we can relate to. Most annoying thing about new technology. Go on.
The most annoying thing about new technology is that whatever you get, and no matter how great you think it is, in 6 months' time there'll be one that's 15 times better than it out for half the price. So, like, you're there with your phone, check out my new phone, and then you meet someone about 2 weeks later and they go, oh, yeah, mine's got invisibility cloaking device on it.
Yeah. I have seen your phone, though, and your phone is spectacularly bad.
I brought my phone into a shop recently, and the guy went, this is from 2004! And he got the guy saying, look, it's from 2004! Like, it's the oldest thing he had ever seen. It was like, 2004!
Did he get all the other phones to come and meet its dad? Come and meet your dad!
OK, most annoying thing about technology.
DVD players that don't play all regions of DVD. Oh. You don't play all regions of DVD, you are racist.
What is the poshest sport?
Quidditch. Because it's not only posh, like, played by posh people, it's expensive as well. Those, like, flying sweeping brushes and that, they're like 45 quid second-hand, you know what I mean? And who wants a second-hand one? You know someone's died on it, so...
Poshest sport?
Gotta be the equine sports, dressage.
Oh.
Dressage. Who did dressage at school? Who did it? I mean, we keep on saying we've got Who went to school and the teacher turned around and said, listen, kids, got PE on Wednesday. Don't forget your pony. Dressage. If you don't bring your pony, you gotta do it in your vest and knickers. Like that.
Never happened. Is that the one where they just walk around showing off that they've got an horse?
They've got a horse that can dance.
They've got a horse that can dance. It's like sort of quite... It's like,
do you know,
it's like that, but with a horse.
It's called...
That is Jason
actually.
Greatest idea ever.
Don't tell him.
I'm invested in Levi Roots. Who must have heard of reggae sauce?
Big time, yeah. I walk past it all the time.
He's the most...
Oh, yeah, Muscat. No, I'll go with something I trust and know. That's what
I've got a sauce.
That sounds horrible.
I've got a sauce. It's called Sean's Secret Sauce. I mean, that's a very secret recipe. I make it at midnight when I'm drunk. I switch the lights off in the kitchen. I just make it like that. Some weeks it's delicious. Some weeks it's poisonous. So I'm going to make loads. I'm going to make millions. Because if you talk to Levi Roots, a fellow saucier...
Well, he sung for his sauce. Do you remember that? He put some music in my food today. Give me some reggae sauce.
Yeah.
Nice. What's your song?
My song. Sean Sauce.
It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most talked about things this week. Sean, what do you think the nation will be talking about?
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice?
The Apprentice. It was the final of The Apprentice, and Alan Sugar decided, finally, to give someone a job in his empire. Which I don't think is an empire. I think it's like a Greek island. I think he does everything. I think you go into his offices, he's dressed in a wig, and he goes, oh, Mr. Sugar, I'll see you now. And he goes on with... Runs into the boardroom, sits there, is going, come in, sit down, tea or coffee? They go, tea. And he goes, hold on a sec. And he goes, no. Because I've never come across any kind of Amstrad or Sugar Enterprises in any part
Have you not got a Faxophone 3000? No. The Faxophone 3000 they use, it's brilliant. It's like a MIDI hi-fi system with a fax.
It's like someone sellotapes a sort of flask to a banjo or something like that.
Just baffle me how he is so rich when... What is Amstrad? I mean, I had an Amstrad CPC 464 when I was 12.
Is that the one with the green writing?
Green screen,
Yes.
and it loaded games off tapes. That was the system. And he's now a millionaire. He must own actual sugar.
James, do you think the right person won?
Yes, I think Yasmina was right to win, yeah.
The prize on this, Yasmina's prize, she won a job at a digital signage firm. Now,
Yeah,
I don't know much about digital signage, but is it that?
She is selling digital telly things with stuff on.
Wow.
You'd be good in that job because you know all the lingo.
That's right, yeah.
Why didn't he pick Kate?
Did Kate lose because she's got a Birmingham accent? Because that's why I would have said no. I work with Richard Hammond. When he's had a drink, he becomes fully Birmingham, and it's just intolerable noise. Does Sir Alan make you call him Sir Alan?
No one actually tells you that you do it. It's like, it might not be his real name. Just
But why didn't you call
something
him...
His name's not Shirley, it's Sir Alan.
And I just found it all too fascinating, The Apprentice, because as far as I can work out, all you actually do in there is spend 10% of your time doing something and then 90% working out who to blame when it goes wrong.
That's it, you have to kind
And Alan Sugar, you notice this, Alan Sugar, how cross he gets, because one team's made £8 and the other team's lost by 25 pence. But is it like that? And then what's that, Margaret?
Let him speak!
It's like talking to an 8-year-old, isn't it?
Is it like that? Let him speak!
Why does he get so cross about 25p?
Yeah. Yeah, why? Because he's...
Yeah, why does he get so cross?
God almighty!
Answer!
He hasn't made 800-odd million through, you know, look after the pennies and the 800 millions look after themselves.
It's that kind of homespun wisdom that lost you the whole thing.
Yeah. Do you know one thing I've picked up, actually, from watching it on the telly? I've just realised how bad my posture is. It's like I'm a prawn, like a jumbo prawn.
That's the main thing you've learnt from that experience.
But you are massive.
I mean, how big are you, James? How big are you?
That's the question we're after.
There's a lot of big boys on that team. I want to know who's the biggest. Let's get you and Clarkson back to back. Come on, let's get you back to back. Well, let's see it.
We're not going to get that this time.
James, back to back.
He just said...
Just don't argue with me.
Back to back. James is bigger.
James is bigger.
Yes.
Let's have a look and see whether The Apprentice is one of the most talked about things this week. Course. Yes, it was the final of The Apprentice. I don't pretend to know much about business, but after watching Yasmina and Kate carefully analysing their business decisions and leadership qualities, I simply can't understand why Sir Alan didn't hire the pretty one. Sir Alan's been asked to sign on as the government's enterprise czar. James has been asked to sign on. OK, Jason, Holly and David, what else of the nation are we talking about?
Well, it's got to be the
European elections, isn't it?
yeah.
Got to be the European elections, isn't it, Jimmy?
No, it's just the BNP going over there taking all their jobs. It's,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple.
Someone threw an egg at him, didn't they?
Was it a British hen that laid the egg, do we know?
It was a brown egg that was thrown, and that's what hurt.
I don't understand why the BNP even want to be, you know, in the European Parliament, because they're always going to be sat next to foreigners, aren't they, all the time? Unless that might cure them. They go over there and go, actually, it's quite nice, and the people are really friendly. Oh, what's that? Oh, cross-on. I'm no longer a racist.
It's no different to UKIP. All UKIP have got is we don't like Europe.
Yeah.
So people who vote for them vote for UKIP and say, oh, we don't like Europe. But it's kind of pointless, UKIP going there, because they don't like Europe. It's a bit like going to someone's birthday party who you hate, refusing to sing happy birthday, eating all the cake and then going, this is a shit party.
Then did you see the size of the voting paper for it?
Yeah, it's long.
It was like a piece of bog roll. He just stretched it all the way across the floor.
I just crossed all of them out and just put Hamas. They'll sort this borough out.
OK, let's have a look and see whether the European elections is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, of course. Yes, the European election results were out this week. The BNP has complained of media bias, which is fair enough. You're not even allowed to describe the BNP leader on television till after the watershed, and even then they sometimes bleep the word Sean, Jeremy and James, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Gordon Ramsay's been making friends in Australia? Well, he was actually being told off by the Australian Prime Minister, wasn't he? He was called the lowest form of life. Because he called a TV presenter a pig. He said she was a pig-faced woman. And I thought it's quite ironic, him calling someone a pig when his face looks like crackling. Burnt crackling.
One of the things she said was that he called her a lesbian pig. And he's gone, I never called her a lesbian. And he's been...
This is the picture that he put up. And in fairness to him, she does look a little bit like a pig in that.
Yeah. He's probably got a recipe that said, while the jus is reducing, you can Photoshop a woman to look like a six-titted pig. If so, you did an interview, you've done lots of interviews, haven't you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
You've never thought the next day thinking, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to mock them up looking like a six-titted pig. Even if you've thought about it, you haven't bothered to do it.
I sort of feel a bit sorry for Gordon. When the Daily Mail demands an apology, you know, we demand an apology. So he then goes on the television, which he did, and said, I'm very sorry. And now we demand more.
They called his apology snivelling.
Yes, snivelling.
So they
apology.
demanded an apology, he apologised, and then they went, snivelling apology. Yeah. Well, he can't win then, can he?
What they want you to do is stand outside the Daily Mail offices with a cheese grater just rubbing your face off. Like that.
I think you'll find Gordon Ramsay's already done that. Have you not seen the effect?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. How can he go around deliver, you know, insults about how people look? He makes Ronnie Wood look like Hannah Montana, doesn't he? When he shuts his eyes, it's like someone's put a chef's hat on a walnut.
What I can tell you, it's not one of the most talked about things this week. This is the story that Gordon Ramsay has insulted an Australian TV presenter. The general rule is when you're accused of being insensitive towards women by an Australian, you've got problems.
It's the 10th series now, and I've always been a fan of Big Brother, but there's been a few points where I think even the voiceover bloke sounds like he's getting a bit bored. Yeah. So one day I just want to turn it on and go, dear whatever it is in a Big Brother house. Yeah. One of them has said something that's upset the other one, but the other ones don't care.
Here's the thing, Davina, brilliant. The house, brilliant.
Who's your favourite housemate?
Well, then
the
problem is, then they fill the nice, lovely house with the cool sofa and the, oh, you can come over here and make a smoothie with twats.
Sorry, Shree is not a twat. No. Shree is amazing. He's obsessed by this girl. He's obsessed by Noreen. He's in the same house as her as he's obsessed by her, so it's come in really handy. It's a stalker's paradise.
Was he stalking her before the show? I mean, that's incredibly lucky. If you're stalking someone and you both end up in the Big Brother house.
There is some great bits in it, like when they were doing that dancing flower thing, Siavash said, oh, I wish we had a camera.
What gets me is that Big Brother, they, like, every year, it's like they're trying put, you know, wackier, weirder people in every year to make it more controversial. And I think that the only way, you know, it's only going to end up, you know, we're going to have, like, a killer. But no, not like an active killer, like someone who was a killer.
It's part of the unemployment figures, isn't it? The job centre and stuff are saying there's too many people applying for too fewer jobs, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is part of the bigger story. There are over 2 million people unemployed in Britain.
Yeah.
But also, there's some statistic, I think McDonald's have turned down loads of people, but are still managing to employ, explain this to me, 140 people per day.
Yes, McDonald's receive 2,200 job applications every day.
McDonald's could easily employ loads more people by employing somebody to go on the second window at the drive-thru.
Yes.
There's nobody ever on that second window. First window, you pay your money. The last window, you collect the food. Why is there a second window? I always want to see Ronald McDonald on his fag break, just sat in there. Right, mate. See that Colonel? Tell him he's a prick.
52% of people would be willing to give a full-body massage to their best friend. True or false?
Depends who your best friend is, doesn't it? If your best
Yes,
friend's...
I think yes. If your best friend goes, oh, I'm so achy,
Who's your best friend? Who's your best friend?
Vicky. And if she was very achy and she lied down, took her clothes off, bring out the oils.
Oh, I haven't even thought of oils. Well done.
I definitely wouldn't let a friend do acupuncture on me.
The mistake with the full body, and you only make it once, is when they say, get undressed, and you do.
They don't actually mean...
They mean keep your boxers on. They actually mean... They don't say it, but... And I would say to anyone going for one, make sure you leave your boxers on, because if you're supposed to take them off, that's less embarrassing than if you're supposed to leave them on, isn't it? Somebody walks in and goes, oh, you're supposed to take them off. You go, all right, what am I like? If you've got them off, they go, security.
OK, so what are you going to go for, true or false?
It depends how many men were asked, of course, but I think it's... You think true?
I think it could be true, to be honest.
You both think true. I think I'm going to overrule and say false.
But you're the captain. You're the captain.
I very rarely do it, guys, but I'm doing it this time.
OK, well, I can tell you the answer is true. Yes, 52% of people would be willing to give a full-body massage to their best friend. Unlucky Jason. My best friend gave me a full-body massage, and the only thing weird about it is the fact that my best friend is a transsexual Estonian hooker working out of a hotel in Gatwick. Sean, Josie and Jamelia, what do you like the look of?
Birmingham's got to be. And it better not be anything bad.
No, it's nothing bad about Birmingham.
Well, what's going to happen if it is? What are you going to do?
I'm going to
You're
beat
gonna
him
attack
up. Yeah, I'll attack him.
Let's pick Birmingham and hope it's bad.
Birmingham is a shithole. Why? No, it's not that. You've chosen Birmingham. OK. 25% of people from the Midlands have used what to seduce someone?
Well, it's not their accent,
No,
is
it's
it?
probably...
Let's be honest.
I've used that sexy Midlands twang.
How can you say that?
How do you think people seduce?
Seduce?
How would you seduce someone? Would you wear, like, some sort of cerise boob tube? Sold.
You're such an idiot.
Yeah, it's all very funny, but you don't have to live with this sexual tension.
In Birmingham, everyone like smiles at each other and they say hello, even if you don't know each other.
You're painting Birmingham to be something that it really isn't.
It is. It
Make
really.
it sound like Venice.
I swear,
I suppose,
people do like smile at each other. But then when I first came to London, I did that, and they were kind of like looking at me like I was a weirdo.
I had the same thing, Jamelia, actually, coming down from the north. I remember getting to Euston, and there was a fella reading, I think it was Da Vinci Code at the time. It was before it, kicked off into the big success, and I sort of wandered over and I said, oh, is it any good, that? I've been fancying read it. He looked at me like I went, hey, mate, can I have a little tickle of your bollocks? Is that...
Top thing we learn from our dads.
It's mostly sayings. My dad, I think that's what most people learn from dads. Very, like, you say, you can't make an omelette. Very pessimistic man, my dad.
How to read? My dad taught me how to read by reading Benji the Squirrel.
You can't read.
Only
show
just.
off.
Only just.
Benji the Squirrel.
Benji the Squirrel.
Go on, prove it. What happens in the end?
OK, well, he gets the nut.
Is it not, no matter what time I get up, it'll always be afternoon? Like, no matter what time, you'll always be after your dad. It'll be like, afternoon, son.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
Even at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, it's half eight, Dad. Afternoon. I've only been to the shop, got the papers.
I remember when I was about 12 or 13, friends are very important to you, and my dad had 4 kids, whatever. I remember thinking, you never see his friends, because he's just busy, he's working busy. I said to him, Dad, where are all your friends? He said, well, they're doing exactly the same as me. He said, they're sitting down after a hard day's work, having a whiskey and answering stupid questions.
Top thing we learned from our dads. I think it's quite an obvious one. Go on, have a...
Is it DIY?
Correct. The right answer. Yes, the top thing we learned from our dads is DIY. Every Sunday morning, you could hear my dad banging away in vain, trying to coax some life out of the old boiler. And then he'd give up, go upstairs and fuck my mum. women's dream way to be proposed to?
I think girls like to be proposed to in bed.
No. In bed? After I just apologise and try and move on.
No, I think almost during.
During?
Hello.
Wow. Really? I haven't got time.
Is it on Trisha? That's my dream way. Because then you can ask for a DNA test straight away. And you can ask for, like, a lie detector and all that.
But if you're proposing to someone, a DNA test would be to find out whether they're the same species.
Is it outside Yates's? and you're holding her hair as she's having a little bit of a sick. Again, there's some places in Manchester where if you did that, you'd be quite the David Niven.
I didn't take any risks when I proposed. I put a note up the cat's arse. And when it went into the kitchen, I thought she'd go, "What's that in the cat's arse?" Will you marry? It's a bit smudged here.
I like the way that my husband proposed to me. Like, he proposed in front of people. I honestly think I probably would have said no if it was just like me and him. I'm going to actually try and answer this question. I'm just thinking, like, girly girls, probably, like, on bended knee at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I'll give you that for the Paris, because women's dream way to be proposed to is actually on a romantic holiday. I thought it would be romantic to take my girlfriend back to where we first met, but she said, "Don't make me go back there, Mr. Jimmy. I cook, I clean, I'll be better." What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason's team, you're to guess first. What do you think people might have been talking about this week?
It's the untimely death of Molly Sugden. Who saw that coming? Who else is that?
Jimmy.
Is it...
Jimmy. He had his chance.
Yes, David, what?
Have you heard Michael Jackson is dead?
Yes. I heard.
People have been talking about it because he's a controversial figure. I mean, if it's wrong to share your bed with 13-year-old boys, then lock me up and throw away the key.
I just thought the coverage, like the night he died on Thursday, was it Thursday when it happened?
Thursday, yeah.
I mean, I sat there all night just flipping channels between BBC, Sky News, just trying to see how many different ways you can say Michael Jackson is dead. There was this lady on BBC News, and she said, "Michael Jackson, King of Pop, dead at 50. We go back live to Los Angeles for an update." He dead! He's still dead!
The saddest thing is about 10 minutes after his death, you get about 100 text messages from people you've not even seen them for 15 years. And you're like, who's sat there at 1:30 in the morning thinking, "I've not seen Jason for 12 years. I might send him a gag about a dead celebrity 12 minutes ago."
People say things like he's entrusted his kids. Well, apparently they're not really his kids. He's not the biological father. Which actually wasn't difficult to work out. They look like they're related to the Swedish royal family.
Do you know their names?
Prince Michael. 1, 2 and 3.
No. What are your children called?
I'm not going to tell you my names of my children.
Why not?
I don't want you freaking them out as well. Poking your head over the fence going, "Hello."
Are you sad about it?
For me, it's a little bit like when Diana dies. I couldn't give a fuck. The audience, how do you feel? Are you good at... you feel sad? No, it's a weird one that... a few of you, yes. Now, I read in the paper, the big story, the real tragedy around Michael Jackson's death was the fact you were looking for a house and you lost out on the deposit.
Yeah, there's an element of truth in that, yeah.
So did you find him a house?
He was actually found 3 houses. And this is perhaps where I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah. Is he living in one?
Because... just a little bit. He was due to he was due to choose one of the houses this week.
So what was he looking for? Was it a flat?
Fairground, isn't it? Has it got an ensuite? Has it got a waltzer?
Well, what was he looking for?
He needed what was essentially a stately home But it needed to have all the mod cons of a gym and a cinema and a panic room and that sort of thing.
But I think what's quite interesting is they were going to have a state funeral. People were going to go and see his coffin. What they're going to do instead of a state funeral, they're just going to dangle him out of a window for 30 seconds.
Let's have a look and see whether Michael Jackson is one of the most talked about things this week. I imagine he's right up there. Yes, indeed. I think the highest percentage we've ever had. Yes, Michael Jackson has passed away. You could tell Michael Jackson wasn't well. He hasn't looked himself since about 1984. Jason, what else have the nation been talking about?
It's been hot. Really hot. Apart from in where I live, where it's not been.
I'm from Manchester. It's been hot. Where have you been?
Yeah, but you're in, like, cold places a lot of the time. Everything's hot to you. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, that was a cold spot. You're like, no, it wasn't. You just live in Manchester.
Oh, I'm getting something here. Any thoughts on the weather, Reg?
Yeah, it's hot. Probably ain't gonna be hot all that long. And if it stays as hot as it is, you're gonna have Spanish people coming over here to have sex. So...
Wasn't there some government news system, an alert system?
There is now an official alert. Yeah.
What a load of old rubbish. Sorry.
As opposed to what you do.
I think the press can be more imaginative with where they cover the hot weather. They always have the same thing. They always have, like, some girls in a bikini near a beach, and then behind them they've, like, got a graphic of a sun with the temperature, saying 32 degrees, whatever. I suppose in about 40 years' time, that little sun will have 48 degrees on it, and on the beach it'll be full of dead people. Just lying there like that.
Let's have a look and see whether the hot weather is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it's been really hot this week. The pavements in London were hot enough to fry an egg. Yeah, I'll have mine dog side up. Sean, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
The Queen wants more money. She said that she wants an increase in the civil list because she hasn't got enough money. And they've said no, they're not going to give her any more money.
What's the point in having a queen if she got to ask somebody else for money? Surely, if you're the queen, you go and you get the money yourself. Like, look at this treasure chest of gold in the castle. I ain't got to ask nobody for nothing.
It's no good asking me. I don't understand it. She's on the money. All she's got to do is take a picture of herself and write £20 on it. It's done. That's money.
Or she could get sponsorship. She goes, "Hello, I'm the Queen, brought to you by Powergen." I'm wearing a crown because I'm worth it.
Can I ask who's met the Queen? Who's actually met the Queen?
Me.
Well, everybody. You've not met the Queen. When?
We went to meet the Queen. I went to Buckingham Palace. I had tea with the Queen.
Well, I'll ring her up later and ask her.
When did you meet the Queen?
I have.
You have not met the Queen.
Every Tuesday, I give her trampolining lessons.
She could do. Do you think sometimes, just to wind Prince Charles up, when he walks in, she pretends to be dead? That's when he walks in, he goes, "Yeah!" She goes, "Ah, I got ya!"
Reg, have you ever learned any other languages?
Sometimes I've made up words in another language. There's a French word I made up, j'en t'ai flu.
What does j'en t'ai flu mean?
It means whatever. So, like, if someone says, you're in a restaurant and a French person says, do you want red or white wine? You go, j'en t'ai flu. When I say it to French people, you know, it catches them off guard. You know, they feel like it's a French word they don't know. And they feel embarrassed because I'm not French, yet I know it. And I say, well, maybe you ain't really French then, man.
Best way to get the attention of someone you fancy.
Is that the answer? Is that it?
No.
I think the best way is to break into their car and strap yourself into one of the kids' seats. Like that. That's it. When they come in, you go, right.
Can you look after me?
Move your hands, because I can't get close to the buzzer, can I? You put your hands there.
You don't need to, that's their answer.
When I try to get attention to somebody I fancy, I probably do the thing British people don't know about. I talk to them. But, I mean, I don't expect y'all to know too much about that.
Not on the list, Red. What do you think? How would you get the attention?
Show 'em your tits.
Show 'em your tits isn't there, but you know what? That is going to work.
Build a fun fair in your garden.
I agree with you, Kelly. I'm impressed that my mum can even turn on a computer, and I think that's the way mum should be.
What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation, and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason.
Well, it's got to be Michael Jackson's funeral, hasn't it?
What, sorry? Is he dead? Did you watch it?
Oh, I caught the last half hour. Thought it was quite nice. I mean, everyone's been slagging it off, saying it was a bit, you know, a bit cheesy and that, but if you could have Stevie Wonder singing at your funeral, you'd have him, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd rather it was your 40th, but, you know, you'd have him, wouldn't you? The weirdest thing was all the fans. There was, like, millions of fans dressed up like Michael Jackson. Now, can you imagine being at your nana's funeral, right? You're just coming out and everyone's dressed like her. You're like...
The thing that I love is how people forget about the bad stuff with the kids.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Oh, that.
He was nice, though. He did really good music. It's like, when anyone dies, that's always what happens. Like, this man murdered 20 prostitutes. Ah, but he was good at macrame.
I'll be honest with you, I think when glitter goes, people will remember the bad stuff. Kelly, did you watch it?
I thought the whole thing was a bit much, to be honest. I mean, all of his brothers wearing the glove.
Do you notice the detail of that? Because they clearly bought 5...
I know! Someone told me this. I thought it was so funny. Instead of buying each one of them a right or a left-handed glove, they bought, like, 6 pairs and split them between 12. So some of them had them on the left hand and some of them had them on the right.
The weirdest thing I read is that they're going to put him in a concrete tomb so crazed fans can't dig him up. Who is doing that? Seriously? Who is that much of a fan? Like, hey, love, I know we missed out on tickets for the memorial service. Come in the lounge.
No, but won't his face not decompose because it's plastic?
I don't think it will. I think it'll stay pretty much as is.
Yeah, he's like a bag of nappies. 500-600 years. I mean, the weird thing about it is it's not really the funeral, is it? It's like a sort of pre-funeral. It's like he's engaged to be dead. In a way, he said, well, we're dead, we're preparing for his deadness, but his deadness hasn't happened yet. We haven't got the full deadness. Because his funeral's going to go on for ages. People are going to be making jokes about his funeral for about 2 or 3 months. It's like the death that just keeps on giving.
Reg, did you watch it?
I came in about halfway through, and first half hour, I thought it was about like some kind of music competition. And,
were you voting at home?
Yeah, wow, it's a concert, man. I started watching it, and then they flashed on the coffin, and I was like, oh, Michael Jackson dead.
But did you expect Simon Cowell to press a button and go,
Yeah, well, I love that Shaheen. He was on it, wasn't he?
He was going to play with Michael Jackson at the O2.
Which everything you say turns into some innuendo.
As you watch it, you could play the Michael Jackson double entendre drinking game. Every time somebody went, he touched so many people. Way!
I'm just saying, for Shaheen, I think playing with Michael Jackson for 50 dates, that would have stretched him. Have you ever met him?
Twice.
You met him twice?
First time I met him was at an MTV after party, and then the second time it was at Madison Square Gardens, and he was wheeling around Elizabeth Taylor with his pants unbuttoned and no shoes on. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
But you know what? Now that Mike's dead, a lot of stories like this gonna pop out. You know, just weird stuff that people nobody listen to, but it's just okay to say now because he's gone. You're gonna hear stories like, I was eating a hot dog one time and he jumped out the TV. And it was the damnedest thing. It was Michael Jackson. And I'm like, Mike, what you doing here? And he's like, hee hee. And he back out.
But there's also a thing about his saying he'd be singing in heaven with the angels. And I was thinking, if he gets into heaven, we're all going. Oh, my God. I bet you if he is going, the angels will be running around telling the cherubs to put some clothes on. I want you wearing dungarees and duffel coats, minimum.
Let's have a look and see whether Michael Jackson's one of the most talked about things this week. Of course it is. Yes. Yes, Michael Jackson's funeral took place this week. 12-year-old Britain's Got Talent finalist Shaheen Jaffagoli performed at Jackson's funeral. He raised the roof of the Staples Centre and the lid of the coffin. Go on, what else have people been talking about this week?
MI6.
Was it MI5? I don't know this.
MI6. MI6 is foreign intelligence. MI5 is home. MI4 is like parks and waterways. And MI3 is clamping.
Which one does furniture?
MFI. The head of MI6 has been put on one of those Facebook.
His wife has put him on Facebook.
And generally people think that's not great, that people know what the head of MI6 looks like in his trunks. It's a very funny picture because he's playing football on a beach like this. He's going... You can't see my legs, but it's very funny. I bet he was thinking, I wish my wife had put that other photo on where I'm going like this.
Someone said, some expert as well, said that the Taliban get 80% of their information from social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. Really? Really?
Yeah.
140
characters. Quickly.
Osama, Stephen Fry is having another bagel for breakfast. Yeah, but also, where's the harm? I mean, it's only holiday pictures. You know, what's she going to do? Like, oh, yeah, as you're flicking through, that's the one of us in the Seychelles. That was one we went down to Devon. That's the one of the inside of a nuclear submarine. Oopsie daisy.
Well, no, it's mostly for him, because obviously he's embarrassed, but now he has to kill her. She'll just be hanging out the wash, you go, ooh.
What the hell is a woman of her age doing on Facebook when she's married anyway?
I agree with you, Kelly. I'm impressed that my mum can even turn on a computer, and I think that's the way mum should be.
Last night, my mum said to me, get this working for me. And she handed me her computer, and I said, Mum, you press power. So I leave the room and I come back, and she's still looking at it, trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Do you think whatever your dad's got is catching?
That's not just a mum thing. My brother, he's only 25. I caught him once. The computer was there. He was trying to type some stuff up, and he said, I need to print it out. And it wasn't printing out. And I was going, oh, it'll work itself out. Just connect it. And I left. I come back 10 minutes later, and he had the monitor of the thing looking at the... He turned it round to face the printer going, but he has got paper!
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the story. The head of MI6 has had personal details published on Facebook. Of course, the Russians are years behind in their technology. They're still using Friends Reunited. The MI6 chief has been seen in a couple of embarrassing photos, one wearing a pair of Speedos and another attaching electrodes to the testicles of an Iranian dissident.
Turned up at some singing do.
Yes.
Thrown some water, tried to snog a cock.
Let's have a look and see what we've been talking about over the last few months.
Is it Big Brother? It's the 10th series now, and I've always been a fan of Big Brother, but there's been a few points where I think even the voiceover bloke sounds like he's getting a bit bored. Yeah. So one day I just want to turn it on and go, dear whatever it is in a Big Brother house, one of them has said something that's upset the other one, but the other ones don't care.
Here's the thing, Davina, brilliant. The house, brilliant.
Who's your favourite housemate?
Well, then the problem is,
problem.
then they fill the nice, lovely house with the cool sofa and the, oh, you can come over here and make a smoothie with twats.
Sorry, Shri is not a twat. Shri is amazing. He's obsessed by this girl. He's obsessed by Noreen. He's in the same house as her as he's obsessed by her, so it's come in really handy. It's a stalker's paradise.
Was he stalking her before the show? I mean, that's incredibly lucky. If you're stalking someone and you both end up in the Big Brother house.
You know Lisa, the lesbian lady?
Is she a lesbian?
Yeah,
the one with the Mohican?
Yeah.
And the big...
She'd be sat there, like this. She'd go, don't get me wrong, you know, that girl's allowed, you know what I mean? I'd maybe do them, but I wouldn't do the ginger one, but I'd do the rest. I thought, none of them are going to have sex with you, you dirty great Lesser. What are you talking about? You'd be lucky to have sex with the ginger one.
James, are you watching Big Brother?
I don't actually watch reality TV. I think it's crass, to be honest with you. I think when you see these people who will just, you know, lower their standards to go on to try and... on the off chance... On the off chance...
the irony. Is he getting it?
I'm serious. On the off chance that they might get, you know, tapped up to go on some poxy Channel 4 show late at night on a Friday...
Probably got to be Will Gordon Brown still be in a job in the next week or so. He's obviously got to be very worried. I'd be very worried if I had Hugh Edwards doing the news from outside my house. I think if you look outside your window and you see Hugh Edwards going, "Welcome to the 10 o'clock news," you've got to think, Christ, what have I done? There's a brilliant picture of him this week. Have you got a picture?
Oh,
of
yeah,
him?
I've got the picture of him being held on the chin.
And it's very interesting because he's the Prime Minister. Someone's just reached out and... I mean, if that was Obama, they'd be mincemeat by now. He doesn't even stop him. I reckon you could walk up to Gordon Brown, pull his trousers open and pour custard down there. And after about a minute, the special services would go, actually, that's enough custard. He is the Prime Minister. He's coming out on his shoes, for Christ's sake. A bit of respect.
Jason, do you think Gordon Brown is doomed?
I think the Labour Party in general won't... Well, they'll be here, but they won't be in power, I think. I mean, now all the MPs are in this rigmarole of... They're terrified, aren't they? And they're calling it expenses scandal. But let's call it what it is. It's theft, isn't it? That's what it is, theft. If we did it in our job, you know, I've taken a few of your suits home over the past few weeks. You know, I dressed my wife in them. And,
One good thing that comes out of this, if you're walking down the street and you see an MP with a Kit Kat, you're entitled to just go off and break off a bit. I paid for this. Yeah, this is even better with a pepperami because you can bend it over and then go, too hot.
Are they actually taking anyone's personal money?
Yes, ours.
Yeah,
What have the nation been talking about?
Have you been watching a bit of the Britain's Got Talent?
It's gotta be Britain's Got
Subo.
Subo, she's gone mad.
Turned up at some singing do.
Yes.
Thrown some water. Tried to snog a cock. Shouted loads of abuse. And only now does it come to light that she's Scottish. Have these people ever been on National Express? There's fucking loads of them. Moon River!
You shouldn't knock her, though, because also one of the things about the reason Obama likes her so much is she's a very important weapon in the war against terror. Because young extremists are now thinking twice about blowing themselves up now they know what a virgin really looks like. They're going...
She's got some huge fans, though, because, and you'll appreciate this as a Twitterer, Jimmy. Demi Moore has been twittering her support all through this, saying how much she likes her. And I think that's because Demi Moore is smart. Because she's thinking, you know, when the looks go, I'll be able to play her in a movie.
They are actually doing a movie of her, though, aren't they? Of Susan Boyle's life. And
Yes, and I'm going to play her.
Madonna's been at it again. She's adopted another child, which is fantastic news for everybody.
If I could get adopted, I would get adopted by Billy Bragg. That's like my dream person to adopt me. If he's out there, just...
Do you have
I make
parents?
no trouble. Yeah, I've got parents. They're great.
Will they be watching this? Going, what, we haven't written enough protest songs? What do you want, love?
I would choose Adam Woodyatt.
Wow, people
He's
have
my
actually got this...
favourite celebrity. I interviewed him once. He's number one, smiley. Number two, charming.
This is Ian Beale we're talking about here.
Number three...
She wants Ian Beale to be her dad.
He just seems... He's very friendly.
They're slagging Madonna off in the paper, but she's going to make this child's life better. I mean, I'm from Manchester, and I'm doing all right for myself, but even she would make my life better, you know, so...
Yeah, if Madonna offered to adopt me, even at this point, I'd consider it.
I'd say so.
Yeah. She's probably got things like a jacuzzi.
Let's have a look and see whether Madonna adopting a baby is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story that Madonna has adopted a second Malawian child. Already, Madonna's visit has passed into Malawian legend, specifically the legend of the scrawny witch that swoops down from the skies and steals children. No offence to any witches that we have in the audience. If we had any witches, I apologise. Anyone had green hair? So, for example, that one there.
We reckon Big Brother and, more specifically, Alexandra. She's been threatening the rest of the Big Brother inmates, is that the word?
I think it's really
Inmates.
funny.
Can we just clarify, because Alex might be watching this. She's out of the house now. I don't respect you.
Did you see what she said as well? She said, I've got gangster friends, they can do what I say. Pow, pow. Like, how old is she? 8. They're going to get you. Pow, pow, pow.
That's the problem with girls, is at school they never learn a good gun noise, you see. But, like, if that had been a bloke, he'd give it the old... you know what I mean?
I believe the phrase is blap, blap, blap.
Yeah.
Just saying, no one fuck with me, right? Yeah? You'll never be ready. Remember I told you.
What's that?
That's how I roll, my It's not how I roll like that. With the in the back. Yeah.
If you were in a gang, you'd be the treasurer.
I tell you what's winding me up though is E4's coverage of the live streaming, and they let you watch them sleep, they let you watch them eat, but any time anything interesting happens, they cut to a break. They start doing the little bird noises and all that stuff, right? And it's quite annoying. There's been a few times where they're like, hey, yeah, now guess what? Guess who I've had sex with? Well, I'll tell you. On a Tuesday.
Sean Mike Theopophetis off of Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
What have the nation been talking about?
Is it the visit this week of George Bush to London? Visited London. Gordon Brown, very pleased to see him.
Yeah, thrilled.
Yeah. Well, I imagine he is. It makes him look better, doesn't it? Same principle like Simon Cowell got Piers Morgan on Britain's Got Talent. Says, if you think I'm a smug, self-satisfied look at this bloke. I think...
Is that Wamia?
I think it's just funny that, you know, when I'm Canadian and when our Prime Minister visits, not a lot of hoopla. Like when our Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, and right there, I could have said any name at all. I could have said Zorak the Invincible, and there'd still be people watching at home going, yeah, I hear he's invincible. Yeah. Yes, Zorak.
George Bush got 12 Windsor Castle, and I thought that would be an episode of Cribs I wouldn't mind watching. Just Prince Philip walking around, going to the bedroom, and this is where the magic happens. Yeah.
Do you think he was secretly a little bit disappointed that Windsor Castle wasn't bouncy?
You saying he's stupid?
That's what we're saying.
That's one of his greatest skills, isn't it? It's this idea that he's convinced everyone he's stupid, and he's not stupid. He's just really anti-clever, isn't he? So he doesn't like clever things.
Like reading books the right way up.
Let me go through a couple of things he has said over the years.
Yeah.
When asked to describe the White House, he said, it is white. Technically correct.
That's not wrong.
OK. He said, more and more of our imports come from abroad. Correct. OK. I think we can agree the past is over.
That is fact after fact.
Here we go.
He's a fact machine.
Last one. When asked by a reporter why Osama bin Laden had not been caught, he said, he's hiding.
Yeah.
Who said that he saw the Queen naked in her bedroom.
How did he manage that?
He was chasing a corgi that ran into the Queen's bedroom. Apparently the Queen was stood there naked.
It's sort of freaky. Imagine busting in and seeing like 4 corgis and a naked queen. That sounds like the best hand you can have in a poker game. 4 corgis and a naked queen.
What's the etiquette for seeing the Queen naked? What do you do? Do you bow? Do you salute?
I've seen her naked.
Yeah?
On Photoshop. Amazing she looks. She's got an amazing tattoo. It's a full fox hunt coming over her shoulders. Load of dogs across her tummy and a little fox nipping in for cover. It's beautiful. Rising prices of food. Food's gone way up. Anyone who has their 5 a day now is just showing off. But interestingly, there's one food that hasn't gone up, tripe. It's still a very reasonable 8 pence a tonne.
I
Theo, you're a businessman, right?
Yeah.
You may understand this kind of thing. Explain to me what's going on.
Well, basically, the Chancellor got a letter from the Governor of the Bank of England to tell him we're fucked, officially. It took a letter from the Governor of the Bank of England.
You know the worst thing about the letter cost the Chancellor 25 quid. It's Ryman's and Lacenza, isn't it? The lingerie.
Von Lacenza, yes.
I've had an idea for you. Crotchless post-it notes.
You see there's a demand, do you?
Yeah, huge.
I'm a big fan of the old sexy underwear situation.
We don't do your size.
There's loads of money-saving tips people are putting out that, there's loads of different ways you can save money, and I was thinking of cut one like breakfast. I know it's wrong, but steal birds' eggs for your breakfast. They're littler, but they're actually quite tasty. And I've started taking hormones, and in a few months I'll be lactating, so that's milk in the morning. Just saving. And what I do is make a great big pot of stew, really big pot of stew.
Pigeons.
Yeah.
But
Pigeons, what? Well, what'd you say, pigeons? You can't just say pigeons. You've got to have something before it and after it, Theo. You can't just go, pigeons. Is that a good idea?
Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar Square, yeah.
Get the pigeons.
Get the pigeons. Eat the pigeons.
They've
all gone.
Who got rid of the pigeons?
Have literally gone mental?
This is serious.
I know you've got money. Have you been drinking all day?
I'm a lingerie shop. Pigeons!
66% of people would rather have a robot than a pet. True or false?
I mean, I've got two cats. I've got two cats I don't like. I don't like them. I prefer dogs. But what I like about dogs is every so often it just winks at you. Just gives you a little wink. That's because they're content with life. It's sort of, they wink at you to go, it's all right, innit, life? And cats occasionally wink at you as well. They sort of go, if you don't give me food, I will chew your face off. So that's... Your mum's got loads of dogs, hasn't she?
Yeah, she does. She's got about 20. And my dad, she had this room built. It just has a chair, a TV that's on the Animal Channel, then the chairs for my dad to go in there and hang out with the dogs.
Literally, you've got a doghouse for your dad.
He says dogs don't talk back.
I have daughters, I can understand that completely. I sit on the shitter for days.
The downside of having a robot is, of course, you're always dissatisfied with it because you always know there's a slightly improved model out there with a better voice. So that's always going to make it... Because we're constantly going, oh, I want the one that doesn't go, yes, now I love you.
That sounds like me. Come here, honey, give me a kiss.
Top thing to rescue if your house is on fire.
My mum always had this fear that our house was going to burn down.
It's because you got Ozzy Osbourne wandering around it.
So I still have this ladder. So if there was ever a fire, I could jump out my window and climb down.
You would think that with the money your parents have got, they'd put slides instead of ladders. That'd be a lot more fun, wouldn't it, for kids? Woo!
There's a fire again!
Fire, brilliant!
First thing I'd save, the recycling. Because I spent so long sorting out bottles. I'm not going to waste about 2 hours. I'm not going to waste that. That's coming with me.
You haven't got that long.
I know. All right, there's no need to shout, Theo. There's a fire. Don't worry.
Kelly, what would you rescue?
Probably my pictures.
I'd rescue my photographs because if the police ever get hold of them, I'm going to jail.
Dwayne Chambers, the drug cheat, whether he's allowed to run in the Olympics. He was caught using performance-enhancing drugs, and he served his time, but the British Olympic Association won't let him run in the Olympics.
I don't think he's done anything that bad. It's not like he tried to light...
He's cheated, but...
Yeah, but he didn't try and light a crack pipe off the Olympic torch, is
no.
Well, what he's saying banning him from the Olympics is a restriction of his trade as a sprinter. And to be fair, there isn't any other jobs he can do as a 100-metre, sprinter. I mean, a courier, maybe, be pretty good at that. Or I was thinking, like, working for a company that can't afford internal email system.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he could just go, take that, Dwayne. There's cakes on Marjorie's desk.
Or, someone who hasn't got a very good eyesight, right, and they're out having a picnic, he could work with them. They say, what's that in the distance? And they go, I can't quite see it. And he goes, don't worry. Runs off, brings it back, brings it a bit closer. They go, oh, it's a tree stump. It's called a distance shrinker.
Yeah. I don't understand, because the whole point of the 100 metres is you're running fast, so why do they have to all this with the take photos of when they finish and stuff? Why don't they just put the middles at the end and just put them on a table and then start, and then whoever gets the gold is the winner?
You've just made the Olympics better.
I think at the end of the 100 metres, it should just be a sheer drop. And actually, the skill is stopping, not running.
Yeah, because that would be the running exactly 100 metres.
That'd be amazing.
That would not be 10 seconds.
No, they're doing 100. They're doing 100 and a bit at the moment. 100, bang on, or you're dead.
And also...
How about that?
Walking's still an Olympic sport, because when I was a kid walking
Yeah, I think
with a
it still
sport, and I
is.
never understood that
Yeah.
because I've never seen anyone walk like in professional walking in real life.
Well, people fundamentally don't want to run, don't they? If you're crossing the road and you're walking and you think the car might hit you, you don't run to save your life. You just hurry up a little bit, don't you? You just hurry up. Yes, because you want to just miss. Oh, you see, I knew I had that under control. So you don't... Because what you should do is realise the car would kill you. You must set off as fast as you can to save your life and go, I'm alive! But you don't. You just go, whoop, just missed, OK. That's
totally true.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Sean, you want to go first? What do you like the look of?
Chris, do you want to do your pick?
Go on then. Me. By the way, I'm the one without the crown of thorns.
OK, 32% of Brits would like to watch Chris Moyles.
Kill.
No, of course not. If it was that, eat, you'd have to be hungry.
I'd rather be fat, Chris.
32% of Brits would like to watch Chris Moyles.
Kiss.
It's not Kiss.
Go on.
Listen to Chris Moyles.
Only 32. Say something nice.
It involves getting into your personal space.
Oh, OK. 32% of Brits would like to...
Climb in your mouth.
Plenty of room there.
Yeah, it's all personal space, isn't it?
Move in with.
That's exactly the right answer.
Hooray!
Yes, 32% of Brits would like to share a flat with Chris Moyles. Chris has been censored in the past by broadcasting watchdogs for the inappropriate use of the word gay. What a bunch of benders. Jason, what do you like the look of?
Let's go Wilder Ogden from that documentary, Coronation Street.
63% of northern women have what?
A pie fetish. They like a bloke to dress up like a pie and come in, hello. And it's different each night. I'm cheese and onion.
What about rollers?
Rollers? Curlers?
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
It's Jennifer Aniston, I'd feel sorry.
But the thing
Is it rickets?
Have you been to the north? It's all right these days.
It's all right, you know. We've got quite a similar climate and everything.
Hairy balls. Can I just say, this is very racist against northern women. At the moment.
Well, you're the one that said they had hairy balls.
a second ago.
That's a fact.
OK, what do you think?
63% of northern women have...
Untangled a mystery.
On Sunday night on
An absolutely
ITV?
fiendish mystery. Most of the top detectives are northern women. That's a fact. It's another fact.
I'll give you a clue. Something Fern Britton has probably done.
Eaten far too much food.
It's a very specific foodstuff, and it's in one sitting.
Lard. That's right. Have it to lard.
63% of northern women have eaten a whole packet of Jaffa cakes and they don't give a
I'll give you that. Close enough. 63% of northern women have eaten an entire packet of biscuits in one go. Well, you've got to finish the pack before you get to the checkout, or you have to pay for them. 85% of women say cooking is the most important skill they look for in a partner.
I think you've missed out the word obese before women.
If you're watching this and you're obese, put that down, fatty. What do you think?
Absolute rubbish.
What do you look for in a partner?
I don't know many women that say, oh, he's really good at cooking.
Maybe you misheard him.
What do you look for in a man?
Fat face. Even fatter face, you know.
This statistic is a little bit weird because a lot of McDonald's staff are single. At no point does a woman go, oh, you've got 5 stars. Let me take my knickers off. You know what I mean? What, you're on the fryer? Have a touch of these.
Britain's most ridiculous law.
Is it Jude Law?
It's not Jude Law, it's not Sod's Law, it's not Murphy's Law.
Is it Sod's Law?
No! I love that.
Murphy's Law.
There's one for pregnant women, isn't there? That they're allowed to ask a policeman, if they're in a public place, that they can urinate in his helmet.
Does he have to say yes, or can he?
He has to say yes.
You have to. You're allowed to pee in his helmet.
He doesn't have to put it back on afterwards.
He does have to put it back on slowly, going, harumph.
I think that it is a law. I hope someone else has heard of this. That you can kill a Scotsman in Nottingham if he has a bow and arrow.
Sorry, when you said I hope someone else has heard of this, have you killed a Scotsman in Nottingham? It's a place where you can't die.
A place where you can't die?
Yeah. There is a place in England where it's illegal.
I know this. It's you're not allowed to die in the. Is it the Parliament? Houses of Parliament?
That is the correct answer.
Yes.
That's the true thing. Britain's most ridiculous law is it's illegal to die in the Houses of Parliament. Another strange law is pregnant women can urinate anywhere they want. Great news, I think my nana's pregnant. All right, world's most disappointing tourist attraction.
There's one just outside Middlesbrough, and it's a butterfly world. And the thing is, it's like a humidified environment. So I walk in, and my glasses just steamed up.
Yeah, that's what
instantly.
happens in butterfly
Just completely
world.
steamed up.
Yeah.
And I freaked out. I went, ah! And I killed about 12 very rare species.
Auschwitz.
The rides are
I'm Jewish, it's all right. I think that means I can say it. I think so.
Is it Blackpool? And my dad used to drive us. He's got narcolepsy, my dad. He'd get in the car, he'd drive, right?
Yeah.
He'd get in the car and he'd go, right, lads, if you hear this noise, wake me up. And you'd be driving to Blackpool, you're like, Dad, I'm all right, I'm only winding you up, I'm only... You get there, you're like, I don't want to go on any rides, just sit yourself.
He's gorgeous. Hasn't put me off him at all. The fact that he falls asleep, in fact, it's made it more attractive. I can't wait to get my hands on your sleepy dad.
OK, world's most disappointing tourist attraction.
Is it the Eiffel Tower?
You're absolutely right. Yes, the most disappointing tourist attraction in the world is the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is the most pointless erection since I went on a date with Martina Navratilova.
Is it the government releasing these UFO files or Operation Keep Everyone's Mind Off the Economy? Apparently, we're being visited by 11,000 UFOs or something. Only 5% are actually unidentified flying objects. The rest are like planes and stuff like that. And I think they can be sort of whittled down to 5% of people are mental. Yeah. There was one bloke who spotted a UFO land on a bypass in Somerset, right? It landed. 2 figures got out, dressed in black, and one of them checked the engine. Who is flying at light speeds to get here? One of them's gone, oh, cam belt's gone.
People never spot these things in, like, London.
Yeah.
Or Paris or anywhere where people are generally looking up at great things. Like, there's always someone looking up at the Eiffel Tower. And there's never been a single thing. It's always like Norwich. The only people they seem to target are people that are a bit weird with really shit camera equipment.
I've been abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
We all
Loads
have.
of times. I had to take out a restraining order. I'd put it up on my bedroom door. I heard them come upstairs and go...
What happened when you were abducted?
They said, do you know, where's Jimmy Carr live? We want to bring him home.
The American election?
This week, Colin Powell came out in support of Barack Obama, didn't he? Which was quite unusual because Barack's a Democrat and Colin's a Republican. So...
Sarah Palin, isn't it? That's her name,
yeah,
the woman.
yeah.
The more right-wing she gets, the more attractive I'm starting to find her. Is that wrong? Like a sexy Hitler.
Isn't a sexy Hitler you, Jimmy?
I do not really get the joke. Do you really find her attractive, though?
No, truly.
People say they find her attractive, but I think it would be like sticking your dick into a swirling vortex of hate.
That's what I want in a wife.
Last time you came on, you were sexually aroused by Barack Obama.
The whole... I am so into the election, I'm Sky Plus in the debates.
Yeah. I think a lot of the politics, James, is going over your head, though.
Charlie, you presumably watch an unimaginable amount of TV. Have you watched the debates?
I did watch the debates. I watched the debates on CNN, which was mesmerising, because they had a little voter approval graph at the bottom, which was like a wobbly line hooked up to some Ohio voters, and they twist a dial. If one of them said something they'd like, they'd twist a dial up, and if they didn't like it, they'd twist it down. So there's this wobbly line going. And all you did was end up staring at the line. And then I was kind of thinking it would be nice if people had those approval graphs on their heads when you were talking to them, so you could tell if they were interested in what you were saying or not. And then I realised that's basically facial expressions.
Okay, well, incredibly, it's not one of the most talked about things this week. It's been in the news a lot, but not one of the most talked about. The US election campaign continues. John McCain has a purple heart from his days in the army. He also has a purple face and shooting pains up his left arm. If McCain wins, he says he'll start with a clean sheet, which he'll cut 2 eye holes in and then pop over his head. OK, Jason, back over to you. What else have the nation been talking about?
Well, we think it might be Omar Bakri slagging off the X Factor. He says it's against Islam.
That's because the auditions are held at Mecca, but he thinks it's the city, not the bingo hall. He's got a bit mixed up. I think he should approve of Danny Minogue, because she, in a way, is kind of wearing a burqa, isn't it? Yeah. If you look at her face, the only thing that moves is her eyes. It's like she's wearing a flesh burqa. She does, she just sits there and goes... Nothing moves. Even when she talks, her lips don't move. The thing I really don't like about the X Factor is when they do... You know, they do the same songs over and over again, so people do, like, unique interpretations of songs, don't they? So someone will go, I believe children of future... and you know, they do stuff like that with the song. And I think,
stop it, Sean.
Stop it.
Just...
I don't like the song anyway. You're taking something I hate and making it worse.
I don't like the little 4-year-old boy who's wandered on by mistake. The one who looks like... he looks like a fetus. He looks like a fetus of Jamie Oliver. They've been growing in a bag and they've accidentally let him out and now he's singing about his bloody problems.
That's what they should do with the X Factor now, because he's put a fatwa on the show, right? So I just say, execute the next person that's voted off, and then we'll just call it quits. Because when they're gone, they're dead to us anyway. If JLS go this Saturday, I won't mind if they're shot.
You could have a record contract. You, not great news.
Maybe Al-Qaeda have just caught on to the fact that to get any publicity in this country, you have to attach yourself to celebrity. They've realised, they've thought to themselves, well, obviously, that's the only way we're going to get any attention if we have a go at celebrities. I wouldn't be surprised if soon Osama bin Laden is releasing his own fragrance in time for Christmas. It's called, like, Infidel. Infidel. It only comes in 50ml bottles, so you can take it on a plane.
Is it the pilot who's been accused of being drunk on the passenger jet and he was taken off by police? I thought I'd love to have been there, because police are always a little bit smart-arsed, aren't they? You know, and they're arresting someone like, step out of the plane, sir. It's your plane, is it? What speed you were doing? 600 mile an hour. Yeah, I know.
They're all making a hoo-ha out of it. It's automatic. All he's got to do is press a button. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. It's trickier than that.
You can't even work straighteners.
I did this with straighteners, actually.
GHD?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get the new ones?
The new pink ones.
The new pink ones are amazing, aren't they?
All right, got one.
Come on, Jimmy.
I think this is a sad story, because you just think to yourself, is there nothing you can drive when you're pissed? Is this what it's come to? You can't drive a car, you can't fly a plane, a boat, a bicycle. I mean, what is there left for us? The man with the arms.
It's been announced that the world's first double arm transplant is recovering well, so we polled our studio audience and asked them, if you lost an arm, would you rather have a robotic arm or someone else's as a replacement?
This is the guy he had in Germany, didn't he? He had an arm two arms transplanted on.
But didn't he lose his arms in a shredder?
Yeah, he's a farmer.
Yeah, how do you lose 2 arms? Like, the one arm go in and you go, oh, I better get that back. Oh, now look what I've done.
Wouldn't it be be a bit like sawing a leg off a chair, like he lost a few fingers and then he thought that doesn't even out, so I'll just shove a bit more of this arm in.
Guy, when he recovers, he can do things like he can just go bang, hit someone in the face,
Not
go,
me.
not me. Apparently the guy was a nutter.
God, I'd find it so strange if I was going out with a guy and he was, you know, getting a bit busy, romancing, and he just said, you know, these aren't my hands.
What if, though, Olivia, he was getting busy in the bedroom, you're getting a bit amorous, things are getting heated, he pulls away, the arm stays. The alternative for this guy, as opposed to getting someone else's arms, robotic arms.
If I did get a robot arm, I'd want it not to be just like a claw, like an Abu Hansa. I'd want it to have, like, Swiss Army knife functions. I'd like a bottle opener, a corkscrew.
He wants a frying pan there and a whisk.
Super Gordon Brown. Flash Gordon. Yeah.
A one-eyed genius.
One-eyed genius. He sorted the country out. He sorted the world out.
You know that there's this thing about a baby boom going on. That during the credit crunch, people are staying in more and having kids. And me and my wife, well, we're not married, but I call her wife because girlfriend sounds too insignificant. Partner I don't like, and lodger she hates. So... We're having a baby. We're having another baby. And on Thursday, when the sort of financial system was really going into meltdown, we had a scan. We had a 20-week scan, and the sonographer was scanning her stomach. And she turned to me and she said, "Do you want to know whether it's a boy or a girl?" And the first thought that came to my head was, "I'd rather know if my money's safe at Lloyd's."
You know this £50 billion that we've paid the banks? Is it still going to take 5 days to clear? Or will it amazingly clear straight away?
But one of the problems has been that people are spending more than they've got, just as society. It's become visible, even. I knew it. I spotted it months ago. I saw a Bentley car in Dewsbury. Now, that's a £200,000 car, and Dewsbury itself is only worth £180,000.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I don't know that much about it. I know Iceland are involved somewhere. Does that mean there's any chance of Kerry Katona losing her Iceland contract? Because she is the reason I and druggy mums go to Iceland. Can anyone answer that?
The confusing thing about it is Iceland, the country, do actually own Iceland, the business.
No way.
Mm-hmm. They definitely do.
I'd like to see the new strapline, like, Mum's gone to Iceland to get our money back.
In the 70s, there was a war over cod.
In the 70s, there was a war over... All right, tell us more about this, Grandad. Oh, it's going to be one of his war stories.
Come here to learn. You didn't know that, right? So there's a war over cod, right? So if there was a war over cod, what kind of war is there going to be over billions being stolen by the Icelanders?
We've got nuclear weapons and they haven't. So we should say to them, look, give us the money back or we'll turn you into dust land. Is it the government's plan to sort of curb excessive drinking? Like bars, I didn't realise this, bars give free drinks to women. I didn't know that. So it's sort of like a trap. So they're going to stop them giving free drinks. In a bar, women will accept free drinks. If I stand on my front step with a can of Kestrel and a woman goes past and goes, "Do you want a swig?" They run off.
There's something different between being at a bar and people giving you drinks and having your spit on a bottle outside your house.
What I do, Sarah, is I pour it into my shoe so they don't have to take it from there.
My mistake. The election in the United States, it's really do or die because it's Barack Obama, who's awesome, and John McCain, who's horrifying, and even more horrifying, his running mate, Sarah Palin. She is everything gross about a pageant contestant, but without the desire for, like, world peace. Really?
Yeah.
I went to a fundraiser for Barack Obama, and it was really exciting because it was in Los Angeles, and it was really like a who's who, and I could walk right up to him. You know, this was like a year ago, and I wanted to think of a smart question, you know, so I go up to him, and I'm like, Senator Obama, when you were a student in Boston, did you encounter any racism? And he said something really interesting. He said, "I'm Kanye West."
8% of men have secretly used dancer-sized videos to keep themselves in shape. True or false?
I don't think they're using them to stay in shape, to be honest. I think they're popping them on and going, yeah, I'm just staying in shape, love, that's all I'm doing.
Sarah, are you attracted to a man that can dance?
I like a manly man, but I like a man who will let himself be vulnerable enough to try dancing.
There's 6 blokes here. Let's see, chair dancing, right? Who's got the best moves for Sarah and see which one turns her on.
Yeah, let's definitely start with you.
Let's start with, OK.
Yeah. It's a pretty good start.
Oh, got a little bit dizzy now. Steve?
Oh, God.
Come on.
I'm going to take you old school.
Oh, no. Sarah's close. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were rubbing a cat.
Is this...
Your turn. There he goes.
Quite high in the air.
I've actually been dancing for the whole show, but I've been doing the river dance, so there's no upper body movement whatsoever. The whole show I've been dancing away happily. While you lot have been playing your panel game, I've been throwing f***ing shapes under here.
There is a version of this show that goes out in Ireland, which is just Alan's feet.
Very popular it is too, but if you want some upper body stuff, what about that?
You realise whoever wins this, you have to
Yeah, here we go.
Now the high point, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for.
It's just a bit of that.
Oh, nice.
Not too much, you know.
Oh, keep those orderlies away, they're stealing my stuff.
Well, I like to take things slowly, so usually what I do is I start off with...
Sarah, what do you think? Who was the best dancer?
Who was the sexiest?
I wish I could say all of you. I love Jason personally, but I would have to say Sean because he kind of just broke through and it was funny.
Well done, Sean.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Go on, Sean. Go on. Do you want to wait till after?
Can I have it later?
Most desirable superpower.
I'd like to be really smart all the time and have one hand is an iron. I'm always really smart. And everywhere I go, people go, isn't he smart?
Welcome to my world.
My superpower fantasy is invisibility. I would find somebody I hate and take a massive shit over them. No, but think about it. They're sitting there having lunch with their parents. Bang, you're covered in shit. And I'm gone.
This is turning into a real think tank.
Yeah. In Harry Potter, they've got that invisibility cloak, haven't they? But Ron never uses it for evil, does he? It's always for good, isn't it? You never see at any point him sneaking into Hermione's room and having a little look at a Gryffindor.
Sarah, if you could have a superpower, what do you think you'd go with?
I would want the power to eat anything I want, and then it takes the nutrients out, and then I vomit in like a perfect ball, everything else, but it's mint flavored. Or no, just a fly, I think.
I'll put you down for both.
Okay.
Excellent. If you had a superpower?
I'd like to be able to run faster than the speed of sound.
You should just wish to walk at the speed of us. I'm sorry.
You kind of got it earlier. What did you say earlier?
Invisibility.
Correct answer.
Oh,
I'll do. Next question. Best way to break up with someone?
You're amazing, but I'm turned off by that.
I remember an ex-girlfriend of mine that I broke up with. She was moaning because she says some shops, there's a conspiracy. And she said to me at one point, she went, why am I a size 10 in that shop, but I'm a size 12 in that shop? I said, well, because there's a McDonald's in the middle, wasn't there?
And you broke up because of
that? And we broke up over the Big Mac. Not over it, like, give it me, you fat
You could probably get a pretty clean slate just from, like, a well-faked death.
What would happen if you bumped into them again?
I didn't think about it that far, Jason.
She just told you she was dead. Move on.
A friend of mine, when his relationships were getting too serious, used to leave his herpes medication lying around.
Friend of yours, was it?
Yeah, friend of mine.
Yeah, you can laugh. I him earlier.
not you, it's me, or... It's
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
OK, I'll take it then.
Yes, the best way to break up with someone is to blame yourself. I couldn't find the words to break up with my last girlfriend. There was nothing in the phrase book. In the end, I went with me not love you long time.